Gen 7 is a generation we very rarely play, so we wanted to stick with what we knew, that being Rain. Face's ability to stuff fairies was particularly important this gen, so there are loads of strong fairy types that are really difficult to deal with, and it bodies one of our most threatening counters to Rain teams, that being Tapu Bulu. We packed some offensive moves that were aided by Rain, some nice utility moves for long matches like Will-O-Wisp, and most importantly Toxic Spikes, who is our fairy counter and status spreader. For the other side of the defensive coin, we had Thorny the Ferrothorn for hazards and for opposing water types. It always set up hazards, and it was always annoying. For Rain, we needed the two kings of Rain, Big Gulp and Hank the Tank. Big Gulp set Rain, and it did it well. The utility against Pokemon always, but its job was always to set Rain for the rest of the team. Hank the Tank was a literal demon and smashed everything. Superpower absolutely cooked Ferrothorn. Waterfall smashed everything that didn't resist it. Earthquake blew what Waterfall didn't. And Ice Punch was a fourth move. For the additional Rain Assault, we had Sheik the Greninja, which did its thing. We went with Life Orb instead of Choice Specs this time, as the speed control from Water Shuriken was really clutch, and sometimes we needed to switch up moves. It consistently dogpiled checks alongside Hank, and its raw power ensured that without a health elite check, they'd be losing a Pokemon whenever it came in. Finally, we had Hot Chocolate Tapu Koko as our Z move user. Had a great speed tier, disgusting power with Electrium Z, and utility with Taunting U-Turn. It was a great threatening utility Pokemon, and it made its openings for Pelipper and Greninja by consistently baiting in ground types for them to abuse. Ran this gym with a 9-1 record, and we only lost because Greninja hit a 2-hit Water Shuriken. Thanks for that, Sheik. The Rain Assault absolutely decimated everything in the game. Face's utility against bulky teams was unironically useful. There are plenty of good poison types, but Face's access to Toxic Spikes was uniquely useful and made it somewhat worthwhile. Hot Chocolate, Hank, and Sheik, with support from Big Gulp, really carried the team though. They were kings. Next generation, we'd have to make some magic happen, as Weezing might be getting a whole lot better.
Gen 8 brought big news for Weezing in his Galarian form. Adding Fairy as incredible typing and a new stab, and Neutralizing Gas making a funny answer to opposing regenerators. In our Dragonite video, we decided to have a stall team in Gen 8 with Dragonite and Zorora to wall break, and turn the corner once the other team had been chipped down enough by the defensive core. We decided to go with a similar approach to that, and unintentionally made almost the exact same team, except with Weezing subbed in for Dragonite. As they say, great minds think alike, but fools rarely differ. As with before, we had 2 dedicated special walls and 2 physical walls, with this time Weezing being a mixed wall. Our Weezing set for this gen was Black Sludge with Pain Split, Sludge Bomb, Strange Steam, and Will-O-Wisp to shut down physical attackers. It was also taking split EVs between physical and special defense. Turbo the Clefable was the first special wall, making a return from Gen 6 with Soft Boiled, Moonblast, Flamethrower, and Knockoff to remove the heavy duty booties, so we could get Hazard Chip. Plus Size the Blissey was our other special wall, with Soft Boiled, T-Wave, Seismic Toss, and Aromatherapy. Heatran was our first physical wall, with Rocks, Lava Plume, Earth Power, and Rest to benefit from Blissey's Aromatherapy. Big Burb, our Skarmory, was a spike machine with Roost, Whirlwind, and Body Press. Finally, when Hazards and Ether Chip had worn down the opposing team enough, Zorora was safe to come in and sweep with Knockoff, Plasma Fists, Close Combat, and Volt Switch. We ended this gen 9-1. The game plan worked pretty consistently. Clefable did most of the work, knocking off Boots, with Zorora coming in when it was safe to help in this regard, before Volt switching out. Then, once the heavy duty booty's been removed mostly, our hazard setters got things moving, with most teams forsaking hazard removal because they were relying solely on the boots. Games had to be played much slower than with Dragonite, since we had a lot more work chipping down the opponent before Zorora could sweep by itself. Tapu Koko ended up presenting a big problem that was difficult for the team to handle, and needs to be taken into consideration in the future. Overall for Weezing, it wasn't a horrible gen. Will-O-Wisp was great to have against certain mons. A big role he played though, and quite the funny one, was switching in while an opposing generator was switching out. Especially with the often annoying Toxapex. The opponent would switch it in, let it take significant chip damage, hoping to heal off with Regenerator. Then Weezing would deny the healing with Neutralizing Gas. While it's a far cry from creating an actual OU niche, it worked consistently enough to help take down Regenerators, oftentimes with opponents trying to switch them out when they're in lethal range of entry hazards, since it's something only Weezing can do and almost no one uses him, so they wouldn't see it coming. His stats are still shit, but he pulled some weight in other ways.
Gen 9 is literally our least played generation. I just rarely get the itch to go play the newer games, so we were expecting to blow here. With such a power creep tier to play, we were pretty sure trying to play offense with Weezing just wasn't going to go well. So we elected to run with Stall. Stall's not great in Gen 9, but we had to do what we had to do to make sure Weezing would work. For Two-Face, we decided to rock a utility set with Air Balloon, specifically to bully around Gliscor. Gliscor is one of the most popular Pokemon at the moment, but Two-Face's ability means that Gliscor will die from its poison heal instead of healing from it. Will-O-Wisps and Toxic Spikes bring some utility, and we would rely on Alomomola to heal Two-Face. Heart, the Alomomola, is running a pure utility set in Wish and Flip Turn to heal its teammates. Scald is there in helping create more passive damage, while Regenerator ensures that we stay healthy. Another clear recipient of Heart's wishes is often Alternative, our Mandibuzz. Alternative pretty much has one job and one job only: to defog. Why not go with some of the other defoggers though? Well, Alternative is uniquely good at dealing with Goldengo, one of the most popular Pokemon, and it's great at providing knockoff support. This stall team relies a lot on passive damage, so removing heavy duty boots and leftovers are part of our win condition. Batgirl returns to our team to spread those hazards, and to act as a great physical wall. With Terrestrialization, we can beat pretty much any physical attacker, and Batgirl is free to go crazy with hazards or knockoff support. She's the queen of the team, and hard carried us to victory almost every single game. To finish the passive damage that this team dishes out, we picked up Steve the Garganackle. Steve brings great passive damage with Salt Cure, defensive security with its huge stats, and Stealth Rock for consistent support. We ended up not using Steve too much unless Batgirl fell, or we were facing opposing stall, but he did his job. Finally, we brought back Plus Size for one last battle. Plus Size is our dedicated special wall for the team, as well as our cleric when we needed it. Heal Bell does work against what Batgirl wants to do, but if we needed the other members on the team to be healthy long term more than Batgirl, it was a worthy trade to make. Thunder Wave was great utility as well, and with heavy duty boots we could fight the long bag. At the end of this gen, we pulled a 9-1 record, which we're pretty happy with. Batgirl absolutely carried for most of it, but everyone on the team had their moment. We could defog when we needed to, do damage where we needed, and Two-Face's ability was actually clutch sometimes. We could burn Goldengo, ignore Combine boosts, set Toxic Spikes, and most importantly, stop Gliscor's insane healing. While not the perfect generation, Two-Face carried his weight and led us to a winning record.